Good morning to my mathematics lecturer and Jack Carroll and my team members. We are from class DE 1A. It's great to make this presentation with you all, my team members. Hope that all of you are in a pink of health. Sir, today me and my team members would like to make a presentation about vector. Before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce the name of me and my team members. Include the student registration number. Hi, sir. My name is Jonathan Lee, and my matrix number is 05DEE21F2002.
Hi sir, my name is Abang Eimanuddin bin Abang Zairin Shah, and my matrix number is 05DEE21F2006.
Hello, sir. My name is Muhammad Arif hisyam bin Artino, and my matric number is 05DEE21F2032.
So, sir, we would like to start our presentation about vector now.
First, before I enter into the presentation about the fields that our group chose, I would like to make an introduction about vector. Vector quantities are often represented by scale vector diagrams. Besides that, vector diagrams depict vectors by using arrows drawn to scale in a specific direction. Not also that, there are several characteristics of this diagram that make it an appropriately drawn vector diagram. The characteristic is a vector arrow which with arrowhead is drawn in a specific direction. The second characteristic is a vector arrow has a head which is the terminal point and a tail which is the initial point. These are the basic vector formula as shown in the picture.
Therefore now, I would like to enter the part about application of vector in selected areas. Not also that, I want to explain about the fields that we had choose, which is vector in engineering. Before that, I would like to talk about the definition of vectors in engineering. Vectors are used in engineering to represent quantities that have both a magnitude and a direction. Many engineering quantities such as force, displacement, velocities and acceleration will need to be represented as vectors for analysis. Vector quantities contrast with scalar values such as mass, area or speed, which have a magnitude but no direction.
The second definition of vector in engineering is a force as a vector. It has both a magnitude and a direction. When dealing with vectors in equations, engineers commonly denote something as a vector by putting an arrow over the variable. Variables without an arrow over top of them represent a scalar quantity or simply the magnitude of that vector quantity.
After that, the third definition about vector in engineering is vector are commonly used in mechanical, civil, structural and electrical engineering.
So now, I would like to enter the part of mathematically solution with drawings.
Now, I would like to present about the question. So, given that the question we have airplane x and y, which airplane x and y is located at the point open bracket -5, 1 and 2 close bracket. Therefore, the next one is open bracket 3, 2 and 4 close bracket. So, we need to find the vector for airplane xy, the magnitude and the unit of vector for the airplane. So first, we should list out the information that the question gives us, which Ox equals to -5i plus 1j plus 2k, while Oy equals to 3i plus 2j plus 4k. After that, we should change it, become XO equals to 5i minus 1j minus 2k. Now, we would like to find xy equals to open bracket 5i minus 1j minus 2k close bracket plus open bracket 3i plus 2j plus 4k close bracket. So the answer we got is 8i plus 1j plus 2k. Now, we would like to find the magnitude for xy, which is the square root 8 plus 1 square plus 2 square, and we get the magnitude for xy, which is square root 69. Lastly, we want to find the unit of vector. So we take xy, divide the magnitude of xy. So 8i plus 1j plus 2k divide by the square root 69. Lastly, the answer for vector unit is 8i over the square root 69 plus 1j over the square root 69, and lastly plus 2k over the square root 69.
After we had make an example of mathematical drawing with solution about vector in engineering, we had make a conclusion, which is a vector is a quantity that has both a magnitude and a direction, whereas a scalar only has magnitude. Multiplying a vector by a scalar means multiplying each of its component by the scalar to create a new vector. Addition and subtraction of vectors are done by adding or subtracting the corresponding component. A resultant vector is the sum of two or more vectors, while a unit vector is a vector that has a magnitude of 1 in a specified direction. The scalar product is the product of the magnitude of two vectors and the cosine of the angle between them. The vector product is the product of two vectors in 3 dimensions, which is itself a vector at right angles to both the original vectors, with its magnitude being the product of the magnitude of the original vectors and the sin of angle between their direction. Therefore, before I finish my presentation, I had received 3 questions about vector from my classmate. So me and my team members would like to answer their question.
So the first question I received from my classmate about vector is, what is the difference between vector and scalar? The answer for this question is, a vector is a quantity that has both of magnitude and direction. Vector quantities are more important in the study of motion. Some examples of vector quantities include force, velocity, acceleration, and momentum.
The second question about vector from my classmate that we had received is, there are how many types of vector? The answer for this question is, there are 8 types of vector, which is equal vector, negative vector, positive vector, free vector, parallel vector, resultant vector, equilibrium vector, and the last one is collinear vector.
Such that, the third question about vector from my classmate is, what is a scalar quantity? The answer for this question is, a scalar quantity is defined as the physical quantity with only magnitude and no direction. Such physical quantities can be described just by their numerical value without direction. The addition of these physical quantities follows the simple rules of algebra, and here only their magnitude are added.
That's all the question we had received from our classmate about vectors, sir. I think we had reached to the end of the presentation about vector for our group. Thank you, sir. Stay safe, sir. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day, sir. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir. That's all from me. Goodbye, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.